Hello and welcome to my second exclusive YouTube video. And today, instead of watching a video, we're going to be looking at this article that I found really interesting. I have not read it yet, so you're going to be reacting the same way I am. Well, not the same way, but you're going to be reacting the same time I am. And I just found this really interesting because this Bleacher Report article is going to talk about the one NBA player each team needs to target this offseason. And with free agency looming, it's going to be very interesting to see where some of these free agents will go, or just like the different types of trade targets they are as well, because they said the one player every team needs to target, so it's not just free agents, it's also trading partners. So, yeah, I'm very excited to read this article. I'm going to try to go through each of them. I'm trying to make this less than 20 minutes or so. I'm going to try my best. But yeah, this is going to be very exciting for me to watch, and hopefully you guys really enjoy this video. If you like this type of videos, remember to drop a like, drop a subscription as well. That'd be very much appreciated. And just leave down your suggestions in the comment section to what I should react to next. Next week I might be reacting to a game from the bubbles, like a whole game highlight. So that should be very interesting. But right now we're gonna be starting with an article. So this was just written the day I'm recording this. I'm recording this on Monday, and this was written on November 2nd, or sorry, published. So it's going to be very interesting to see what type of players we're going to be talking about. So as we scroll down, on paper, the NBA's 2020 offseason should be fairly uneventful. The lack of yada. Okay, got it. The Atlanta Hawks, Derek White. That's an interesting pickup. I really do like that because there's Cam Reddish is probably the backup, not the backup, but the backcourt mate to, sorry, excuse me, to Trae Young at the moment. So Derek White's a very interesting pick. They talk about here drafting Cam Reddish and DeAndre Hunter. The Atlanta Hawks have built effectively around Trae Young's limited defensive potential, and they only need one more player to feel comfortable in such a strategy, and he might reside in San Antonio. Interesting. I really do like Derek White. He can relieve Trae Young of his ball handling responsibilities, and he's pretty good on the offensive end. I mean, he actually did pretty well in the Olympics, and not the Olympics, but the FIBA championships last year as well. So Derek White is a good player. I actually do not mind that. He can play both ends of the ball as well. I would not mind this pickup for the Atlanta Hawks whatsoever. Boston Celtics, Miles Turner. This is one of the most popular ones for this offseason, and I can see why. I talked about all season long how the Boston Celtics are needing that big man, and a big man that can defend the rim, but also can stretch the floor. Miles Turner legitimately fits that description, and the Indiana Pacers are, still very much kind of doubting if him and Sabonis will actually work well together. They basically talk about here, Daniel Tice, Grant Williams, were just overpowered by Bam Adebayo, and that's what I was talking about in my season review. If you want to check out my last YouTube video or my podcast, which can be found in the description. And I think Miles Turner would have really helped in that situation. It's not like Daniel Tice and Grant Williams were bad players. They're just too small, and Miles Turner can definitely help that out. I mean, they do say here as well, he stagnated on the offensive end, but he's still a pretty good defender, and I definitely do believe he can really help this Celtics team. I mean, it works out for both sides too, so that I very much expect this deal to go through one way or another. Brooklyn Nets, CJ McCollum, and I'm assuming this is the type of deal you would try to make just to get that third star. And CJ's a pretty good third star, if I do say so myself. Like it says here, McCollum is a seamless fit on virtually any team. He doesn't need the ball at all times. He is a very good three-point shooter, one of the best offensive creators probably in the league. I mean, honestly, like if you look at just guys who can like create their own shots for others, the three-point ability together, CJ McCollum is pretty damn good. And maybe they want to, shake things up in Portland. And as they say here, a package featuring Caris LeVert, Spencer Dinwiddie, and a first-round pick. That's not bad if you're Portland. I mean, Spencer Dinwiddie coming off your bench, backing up Dame or Caris LeVert, not a bad idea. Caris LeVert getting a bigger role on a pretty good team in Portland. I actually like this idea, and McCollum being the third star to pair with Kyrie and KD. The defensive assignments are going to be very interesting to see if they have a backcourt of Kyrie and CJ McCollum. But it's definitely not a um, bad idea. And like I said, I didn't even read this part, but as Irving McCollum backcourt would have the same problems as Deloitte McCollum. Exactly, they're just not going to defend anyone. But if the Portland Trailblazers could make it work, I wouldn't see how Brooklyn could. Charlotte Hornets, Montrezl Harrell. Funnily enough, sports expert YT actually said this on the Friday podcast, and like, I guess if it turns into money, I mean, the Charlotte Hornets do have the money to pay for Montrezl Harrell, but I really do like Montrezl Harrell in a six-man type role as like a energy guy off the bench who can drop 15 to 20 points for you off the bench. I mean, it says here, however, it's easy to discount the big man struggles, as Gore explained. The psychological toll, yeah, the grandmother thing during the bubble definitely could hurt him. Definitely hurt him in the bubble. Let me say that for sure. But I still think he's a really good player. You know, pair him up with PJ Washington could be a okay idea if you're Charlotte, but they just need like just talent there. And I think if you bring someone like Montrezl Harrell to be a pick and roll partner for Devontae Graham, I guess it could work. I think it helps out Montrezl Harrell more in the situation just because he gets the bag, but not a bad pick whatsoever. Chicago Bulls, Danuel House Jr. Interesting. I mean, I guess he's not too expensive and he can actually shoot the basketball. Yeah, the whole thing with the Rockets, him having to leave the bubble because of like COVID. I think COVID or something had to do with his girlfriend, like him cheating or something. Interesting, but I guess it's a low risk, medium reward. I don't know. I don't have much to say about that. Cleveland Cavaliers, Derrick Jones Jr. If you heard my last podcast, I do not like the Cavs situation at all. I guess, I mean, it would work for both sides. I mean, it gives more of a chance to Derrick Jones Jr. maybe as like a six man, maybe as a starter. Who knows? I mean, we've just looked at this guy as a pure athlete, and he's shown, I mean, good defensive promise on the Heat. Maybe he could do something for the Cavs. Don't really have much to say because this is not really like a game changer or anything. I mean, he's a good role player. Don't see him being much more than that. The Dallas Mavericks, Goran Dragic, pairing him with his Slovenian compatriot, Slovenian teammate, Luka Doncic. I like it. I like it. Again, the backcourt defensively is going to be an issue, but they made it work with him and Tim Hardaway. But I mean, Dragic is like a definitely, has that connection with Luka, and I don't think they're going to get in each other's way that much. I mean, I like the pickup if you can get good defenders around him because they're really not going to defend many people, and Kristaps has his own defensive issues himself. But Goran Dragic, not a bad pickup. Obviously the injury did hurt him in the playoffs, and yeah, honestly, don't think that this is a really bad idea. Goran Dragic with Doncic, good mentor, very good pickup if I do say so myself. Denver Nuggets, Bradley Beal. And this is probably them, like, I'm assuming without even reading it, just them, like, kind of going all in on the Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic core, and then just wanting a 3-star. Beal has been in a bunch of trade rumors as well, and I think this is honestly a really good pickup. They have a lot of, like, good, trade pieces. Gary Harris, Monte Morris, of course, Michael Porter Jr. is a big thing that Washington might want. But I think like if the Nuggets really like their chances and want to like confirm themselves as championship contenders, bringing in Bradley Beal, not a bad option whatsoever. I actually really like that idea. Detroit Pistons, Christian Wood. I've talked about this as well. I mean, I gotta stop saying that, but he said on his Instagram live he doesn't like I'm not sure if he doesn't want to come back, but he said like, where should I go next? The Pistons, this was his like the one guy where I feel like, okay, if you finally hit on a draft pick, this is one of the guys that you want to like keep around for the future. He's a good player, especially after Andre Drummond got traded. He flourished like 22 points a game, 10 rebounds, basically 50, 40, 75 from like February 7th all the way to March 11th, I believe. That's when the season got cut off. It's not like they need to keep him around. They just need to. Like, he's the only bright spot I see in that team. Like I've talked to like some friends before talking about, oh, Luke Kennard could be like that. No, it's Christian Wood is their only like really good future piece, and I really do think the Pistons should really try and bring him back. Even if it may cost 10 to 15 million, I mean, it's a good investment for the future. Golden State Warriors, Paul Millsap. Why not? Why not? I mean, Paul Millsap just got the finished his contract with the Nuggets, where he got the bag, and I think he's in that point in the career. He's still a very good role player. Like he can still do that role very well, and I think he just wants to get a ring at some point. And the Warriors are always like a key destination for veterans who want a ring, especially those who have been like solid players throughout their career. And I think Paul Millsap is like at that point. So why the hell not? I mean, the Warriors, it would just make the rich even richer. But I think that's going to be a good fit for them as well. Whether you start him, whether you come off the bench, he just brings a lot of versatility to that forward position, and I think that would be a really good pickup. Yeah, he's definitely past his All-Star prime, but he's still really good. Nerlens Noel going to the Houston Rockets. Again, this is more of a role player piece. There's not really much I can say about that. I guess a good backup center. I don't even know who their starting center is. Maybe he could start. I don't know, but I guess he's just a good role player. Indiana Pacers, Chris Boucher. Interesting. I was not expecting this. I really liked the type of production he gave to the Raptors this year. He really did show out, like especially in his like opportunities. Just a few games I can remember. I swear he scored like over 20 points against Portland earlier in the season. And maybe he is a better fit beside Domantas Sabonis. I mean, Chris Boucher does like the 3-point shot. He was a former G League MVP / Defensive Player of the Year in 2018-2019. And he has a pretty just interesting skill set. Pair him with Sabonis, I mean, could be a better fit than Miles Turner, because Miles Turner isn't really that like reliable 3-point shot. And Boucher is still a pretty good help defender, so why the hell not? Los Angeles Clippers, Steven Adams. Tristan Thompson may seem like the obvious pursuit here. He's familiar with Tyler and all that. Yeah, I heard a lot of the Tristan Thompson rumors, and I am okay with that. Like, I think that would be a pretty good pickup. But if the Thunder are really going all in, and like a guy like Steven Adams doesn't really have much value in this league in terms of like trading, I still think it's a pretty like not a bad idea. I mean, having that defensive center, someone who can rebound the basketball at a pretty high rate, and he like is just like a good defender, like, just like at the rim. So I don't think that would be a bad option whatsoever to start with Paul George and Kawhi, especially because they're probably going to lose Montrezl Harrell. Derrick Rose, Los Angeles Lakers. I love this. I absolutely love this. Getting Derrick Rose a championship, and he could still do work if you give him the chance. Him being a six-man for the Lakers seems completely ideal for me. He has shown, like, as a member of the Detroit Pistons, that he could still have a good impact on the game, and the Los Angeles Lakers seems like the perfect fit. I don't know what type of package you would take to get him. Hopefully, they could do something on the buyout market or something like that for sure. But with Rondo having rumors of him going to the Clippers, maybe to other teams, bringing in someone like a Derrick Rose is definitely an option. Memphis Grizzlies, DeAnthony Melton. I mean, we could really skip past this. The Memphis Grizzlies don't need to do much this offseason. Just let their guys grow. Just bring back DeAnthony Melton. I guess he's a pretty good backup. Miami Heat, Drew Holiday. Yes, please. This guy just doesn't fit the timeline of the Pelicans. And I like this. The Miami Heat, I'm not sure how many years he has left on his deal, but pairing him and Jimmy Butler in the backcourt, maybe him and Tyler Hero, I like it. I like it a lot. This guy can create his own shot. He has a pretty good three ball. He can set up other people. But remember, this guy is one of the best defensive guards in the entire league. So pair him up with someone like Tyler Hero, who can absolutely shoot the hell out of that basketball. I like it. I like it a lot. That would be very, very good. Yeah, like, I mean, it says here at the top of the article, yes, Miami Heat fans were aware that he wants to clear cap space. Yes, this would not really do that, but it's just, it would be such a good fit. But I mean, that's kind of tough though, giving up on at least one of Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, or Kendrick Nunn. Just give up Kendrick Nunn. Honestly, that actually fits. I actually like the idea. I know this might like halt their plans to get Giannis in 2021, but this just feels like a really, really good fit. I would love to see Drew Holiday as a part of the Miami Heat. Milwaukee Bucks, Victor Oladipo. You need to get help for Giannis. Chris Middleton's a good player. He can't be your only shot creator. You already seen the mistakes you made by signing Eric Bledsoe instead of Malcolm Brogdon. You are missing that shot creation. I know Oladipo hasn't had the type of return that people have hoped for, but he would help. He would help, and I don't think the Pacers would be asking for too much just because he's coming off that injury. Just give him a chance. He can definitely help this team. Like at their very best, like you know what Oladipo could do at leading a playoff team. He took LeBron James to 7 games. I believe that was 2018. He's a good player, and if he can get like even like 80 to 90% of what he was, that'd be such a huge plus for that Milwaukee Bucks team. Trade Eric Bledsoe, like they have assets there, and Milwaukee, and I have a feeling that Giannis is not going to sign that supermax. So the Bucks they need to act fast if they want to build a championship team. Minnesota Timberwolves, Malik Beasley. We know that he has those like issues, like the rest of the issues, like it says here, felony threats of violence and drug possession. But he was such a steal at the trade deadline. Like he is actually a good player. I think he was averaging near 20 points a game as a member of the Minnesota Timberwolves for like that month he was there. He's a good player, and if he can get like himself out of trouble, like if you can like discipline him enough, I think he would be a really really good option to have like on your team. Even starting, I mean, the reason we want him out of Denver was because we want him to have a chance. He has his chance in Minnesota, and I think him as maybe a 6-man role would be absolutely perfect. Just bring him back. He's actually a pretty good player. New Orleans Pelicans, Brandon Ingram. Very clear here. Re-sign him. Even if he doesn't fit with Giannis, he's a good. No, Giannis with Zion. He's a good asset. I mean, we're gonna have to see how these two guys play with each other, but they need to bring him back. They need to bring him back. Whether it's a max deal, whether it's a $20 to $25 million deal, you have to bring back Brandon Ingram. New York Knicks, Chris Paul. That'd be very much like the New York Knicks. I mean, 35 years old, gigantic contract, and has no time. He does not have the same timeline as the team's prospects. Exactly. But they're starving for success and it deserves competence. I just don't trust the Knicks organization, man. I don't want Chris Paul to end up like this, man. Put him on a team. Like I wouldn't mind him on the Bucks just because I think he will fit perfectly with Johnson, Chris Middleton. Not here. You don't let his career die out in New York. I just don't want to see that. Get that out of here. Oklahoma City Thunder draft picks. Keep Shea. I don't know what you want to do with Schroeder, but you have something there, and with the infinite number of draft picks you have already, get more. They're capital. Very, very easy decision here. Orlando Magic, DeMar DeRozan. It's an interesting pick. I mean, what's interesting about the DeMar DeRozan idea of like putting him on the Orlando Magic is, what is this team's ceiling? You have Vucevic, you have Aaron Gordon, DeMar DeRozan. Doesn't give you much hope. I guess it maybe pushes you as a second round exit at the very most, and I'm being super generous here. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it. Let's see if he says anything here. However, despite rostering several well-known statistically productive players, the Orlando Magic hadn't had a passable offense since Dwight Howard's heyday. Fair enough. And I guess he's a good ball hand. Like, he can take the ball off the court. He can create his own shot. They don't have a lot of that in Orlando, so I guess that makes sense. So, honestly, the Orlando Magic just need to have like a bit of star power in their team. DeMar DeRozan is not a bad option. Philadelphia 76ers getting Buddy Hield, just shooting. Whether it's Buddy Hield, whether it's whoever, just get some shooters. Daryl Morey just joined this team, and he knows exactly what this team needs. You just need to have shooters around Embiid and Simmons. Buddy Hield, absolutely perfect. He's already disgruntled in Sacramento, so I don't think it takes much to get him out of there. Yes, he's going to have a big contract, but just trade Al Horford. Honestly, Al Horford for Buddy Hield, throw some things on the side. I think Buddy Hield should be priority number 1 for the Philadelphia 76ers. Like I said, unhappy with the Sacramento Kings over the past year. He definitely is the perfect player for them. Phoenix Suns, Jeremy Grant. I like this. I like this a lot. Ricky Rubio, Devin Booker, Oubre, Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges, whoever you want to put at the 3 position. Jeremy Grant, DeAndre Ayton. Very balanced. Very good. This guy showed out in the Western Conference Finals as well. I really think he can be a really good player for a lot of teams. And he would be, honestly, like kind of the glue that keeps the Suns together and maybe could be the deciding factor to whether they make the playoffs or not. Honestly, Jeremy Grant is a very, very good player. And pairing him up with like those young guys in Phoenix, I really, really like that idea. I really do. Portland Trailblazers bring in Danilo Gallinari. He's talked about I think he's talked about like just recently about how he's gotten a lot of money in his career, and I think he wants to just play a role on a team where he's like a significant piece, but also he wants to. He's not like he doesn't like need that much money, so he can just go to a contender. Portland would love to have a guy like him, someone who could stretch the floor, who isn't a horrible defender as well. He's basically a better Melo, who is more consistent, more efficient, very good pickup. But I know that Danilo Gallinari is going to have a bunch of teams knocking at his door. So if Portland gets him, fair play, fair play. Sacramento Kings bring back Bogdanovic. You need to bring him back. You just need to. With Buddy Hield being disgruntled as he is like one of their better players. They need to keep him around. Who else do they need? I mean, he's like the one guy I feel like they like need to bring back in this free agency, for sure. Just bring back Bogdanovic. He's actually a pretty good player. San Antonio Spurs, Aaron Gordon. I think more just for Aaron Gordon's sake, just get him to a new environment. Maybe Pop could talk some sense to him, and he can actually be a player that we had some hope he could be. I think he's kind of plateaued over the past 2 years, and put him with a team like the San Antonio Spurs could maybe revive his career a little bit, especially because I think they're a lot more interested in keeping Jonathan Isaac, even though he's had some injuries. But having doing the sign trade deal with the Spurs, honestly, it makes sense for both teams. Aaron Gordon is still pretty young, and it kind of fits in with the timeline with a lot of the Spurs young guys as well. So I like that idea of doing the sign trade for DeMar DeRozan. I like it for both teams there. Toronto Raptors, Fred VanVleet. As a Raptor fan speaking, we need to bring this guy back. It's such a weak free agency market that I really don't know how to feel like with Fred VanVleet and all that. Like how much money he's gonna get, but we need to bring him back. We may have to overpay for him. Like I talk, 22.5 million at most. 25 is kind of pushing it, but I think Fred's mentality, you know, he knows he can get the bag, but he also wants to be in that winning environment too. So, by me, I don't blame him if he wants the bag as well. Like going to New York, 25 million. It's up to him, but I would love to have him back. Utah Jazz, Justin Holiday. I guess they lack wing depth. I mean, they had a lot of minutes going to Georges Niang, especially after the Bojan Bogdanovic injury. Royce O'Neal's not a bad player. They can keep him around, but having another backup wing in Justin Holiday, who could shoot the basketball as well, not bad. Final team, Washington Wizards, Davis Bertans. I believe they really do need to bring him back. If you really want to try John Wall and Bradley Beal in the backcourt for like kind of the last time, you need to have shooters around them. Davis Bertans, one of the better 3-point shooters last year, very good player. I really do think that the Washington Wizards should bring him back. Is he going to ask for more than 10 million? Probably. But I think him in this offense with his sharp shooting abilities is going to be actually really, really good for this team. And that's the end, right? Yeah, that's the end. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. Remember to like, share, and subscribe if you like this type of content. And remember to leave your suggestions down below as to what other videos, what other articles I should react to. But yeah, I think this is where we're going to end things here. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you all have a fantastic day. And I'll see you guys on Friday. Take it easy, guys. Peace.